Welcome to Healed and Healing. I'm your host, Maria Roney, intuitive healing guide and teacher, and I have created this podcast for you, you amazing, brave human willing to heal and rediscover your authentic self so that you can be free from past pain, trauma, heartbreak, and conditioning so that you can experience true freedom in a joy-filled, abundant life. My own journey taught me that when we choose to heal from the past, we find our confidence, self-trust, intuition, and so much more. And then we embody who we are at soul level, so we are free to shine our light unapologetically and have the freedom and joy beyond our wildest dreams. So come along on this unique, non-traditional path of healing and self-discovery that is both mystical and grounded in the reality of our human experience. And I'm here to tell you, if I can do it, so can you. So let's begin. Welcome back to another episode of Healed and Healing. And today I'm going to tell you about everything I know about surrendering. Have you heard that term before? Surrender. It is quite a widely known term and practice for so many of us on our conscious journeys and our healing journeys. And it's like the art of trusting in the flow of life. And it's more, though, than just hoping and trusting something will go our way. You know, when you just say put in a job application and just go, well, I've done everything I can now, and then it's over to whoever is reviewing the applications. Like, that is surrender. That is just releasing control. I've done everything I've done. And then a deeper level of surrender would be to completely let go of what the outcome is. So instead of being like waiting for the phone to ring or to receive an email, it would just be sending off the application and just going, whatever will be, will be. If it's mine, it will be mine. What is meant for me will not pass me by. That's the art of surrender. Of even if you really, really hope that you get that job and you trust you've done everything, that's the surrender is about not knowing what the outcome is. In fact, surrender is the complete unknown. It is the opposite of control. And so I give this example of the job application, right? So once you've sent a job application off, you wouldn't then email the recruiter every single day. You would just allow and be and trust if it's right for you. And when you can feel that at deeper levels in your body, that's surrender. That's just like, I'm not controlling this anymore. And we can apply that to our lives and surrendering to the flow of life. And so if we think of life as being a river, and this river, you're flowing down the river, and the river is going, right? And it's just flowing. The river is doing its thing. And you're floating along the river, going along, looking at the scenery. But it's when then you stop and you try to swim upstream. You think you're going the wrong way, or you hold onto a bank, or you get stuck by a log. That's when we're no longer in that flow, in that trust. And you see that the river is still flowing. And that's the key, is that life is still flowing, no matter how much we cling to what is no longer aligned, to how much we control everything in our lives. And so if we can lean into this art of surrender, we can have much, much more peace in our lives and calm, that real calm of knowing what's right for us will turn up when we create the space. And so I tell you a story of surrender. And it was while I was still married. It was towards the end of the marriage, the coercive, controlling relationship I was in. And things weren't good. It was just getting worse and worse. And the more I had grown in confidence, the worse it got. Because I was on my conscious spiritual journey and I was growing and learning, and I knew that I was living a life that was too small for me. I knew that I needed out. And I also was absolutely terrified about how he would respond if I ended the relationship. And I remember this one particular day, and I stood out on the deck in the backyard, and I threw my arms out to the universe, and I just said, I surrender, I surrender, I surrender. I surrender to what is going to happen. I can handle it. Like I just surrender. And if you can feel the energy behind that, it's like I just was in the complete unknown. I had fears, but all I could do was surrender. And it was so powerful for me, because I just put my trust completely in life, in the universe, and I did not know how things were going to unfold, because the threat of suicide was always there. And in the coming days, I can't remember exactly, it could have been a couple of weeks after, because I surrendered, and I had to sit with it. Like I surrendered over and over before I actually had the courage to end the relationship. And as we know, and if you know about my journey, the horrific ending of him taking his own life actually unfolded. And I had to deal with that. And so I had surrendered. And then on my healing journey, I was called to an even deeper surrender. Because experiencing panic attacks, massive anxiety, complicated grief, all the PTSD flares, I was entering the dark night of the soul, and I I just had to surrender even more deeply. And the trust in myself that I had made the right decision, because this part of the river was the rapids. It was hard. I can't possibly express to you just how hard it was. And I can't possibly express to you just how grateful I am to my past self. So that I was so willing to surrender, and then surrender in my healing. And I remember this one day I was having a healing session with the amazing Gemma Bernard. Look her up if you'd like to. She is a beautiful, amazing soul. And I was having a healing session with her, and she taught me surrender practice. And that was to lie on the ground and literally surrender to the ground, feel Mother Earth underneath me, and just say, I surrender. And 3 times, and really feel it in my body. And so this is taking that surrender to a deeper level. And she taught me that surrender is not just in the mind, it's in the body. It's like allowing Mother Earth to hold us and just surrender. And it's super powerful, and I still practice that sometimes. And then surrender goes even deeper for me. I surrendered when my gift started unfolding, and it was just, wow, amazing, is this real? And I surrendered to it. And that brings us to, fast forward, to this current state of surrender that I'm in. And so this is, for me, it's become a state of being. It's not so much something I think about. It's a particular energy, if you know what I mean, if you can feel it. And we practice surrendering. And you've said this a gazillion times. If whatever we practice, it becomes embodied. So practicing surrender with certain ways and tools, like the one I just told you about that Gemma gifted me, then we embody it. It becomes who we are, like brushing our teeth. We don't have to think about brushing our teeth in the morning. We don't have to convince ourselves or think, okay, now it's time to practice brushing my teeth. It's just part of who we are. We just do it and it's done. And that's how surrender is and can become, is that it's just a way of being. And, I have things that I say to myself, like if I'm really desiring something in my life, if I, at the moment, for example, I've got my Intuitive Goddess program out, and I've got my Phoenix Rising program out, and I've created them, and then I've just surrendered, completely consciously surrendered, because what is not meant for me will not pass me by. And so I don't have to control. I just need to take the actions and trust with this huge surrender that the right people will be attracted, and that those who I am to be of service to will come to me. And there are particular times in our life where great surrender is called for, and that might be for you, like for me, it was the end of a relationship. big things, like it might be knowing a job isn't right for you anymore, or moving house, or moving town, or like knowing that you're going to move. And like one of my clients currently, she has made the decision to move, her and her family, and the right house hasn't come up yet. So they know they're moving. They know when, in a few weeks' time, and they've surrendered to it because there's no house yet, but she trusts that the space has been created. So energetically, the space has been created for something new to enter. What is aligned to enter. And so, how do we practice? And so there's one, declare it. Like I surrender, like literally say it. Because we practice with our mind, body, and energy. And so when we're starting to learn the art of surrender, we can just literally say it. We start to get used to it, feel what it's like to surrender. And then secondly, get grounded in your body. Like lie on the ground like I described before and feel it like a somatic experience. And then very recently, my surrendering practice has now just morphed into this offering that in the sacredness of life and in the sacredness of all life is to just offer everything to the divine. So, for example, I had 3 clients in one day a few days ago, and they were beautiful, amazing sessions. And then afterwards, as part of my practice, like I surrender it all. I surrender all the healing. I surrender me being of service. I surrender all of the guidance. I surrender the outcomes. I just offer it to the divine. And it's really a very freeing experience just to offer. And one way to do this, and this is what I am literally currently practicing myself, is that I throw my arms back and my head back and I point my heart to the sky. And with a big inhale, with the intention of just offering in surrender. Try it and see how it feels. And then I bring my hands to my heart center and do it a few times. So we do the practical things to practice. And then what happens, it becomes who we are. And this peace and trust I have in my life is because of surrender. It is because I've practiced. And so, and like the practices remind us of our sacredness. Because when we have, like, no matter what's going on, when we have the challenges that come up, and we know that challenges always come up on this river of life, and when we can remind ourselves of who we are and the sacredness of life and our power and the light and love that we are, then we can flow through the challenges on the river with grace, with forgiveness, with peace, with growth. And so, what is it that you're ready to surrender to? And may I suggest, surrender the trying, all the shoulds in your life, the holding on. What is it that's in your life that's just ready to be released? What habits? And then how can you set the intention and surrender completely and just allow the universe to support you, to allow God, to allow Source, whatever word you want to use, the intelligence of all that is. So please share with me what you're going to do, what little action step you're going to take as a result of listening to this episode of Healed and Healing. And I remind you that if you really are ready to let go on your healing journey, to discover more about yourself so that you can have more freedom and peace and joy, then please sign up for my Phoenix Rising immersion starting in the second week of October and on the 9th of October specifically. And I would love to have you there. It's online, so you're in the comfort of your own home. And I literally will be teaching you how to let go, body, mind, and energy. And there are healings in every session, and there are 6 sessions altogether. So I would love to have you there. And if you're ready to go further on your journey and tap into your intuition and learn to trust yourself and your intuition and access your soul gifts, please contact me about joining the Intuitive Goddess immersion. And this is held in Mackay, so this is face-to-face. And there will be 6 women only and myself, 6 circles, and we are literally going to practice. And there's going to be activations and connection with guides. And honestly, if this is for you and you're ready to really tap into your intuition and soul gifts at a deeper level than before, you will absolutely change in 3 months. With practice, of course, always with practice. So please, the link to Phoenix Rising is in the show notes. Message me directly or email me if you would like to inquire about Intuitive Goddess, because we're going to have exactly the right people. And so you'll need to be already doing your work and doing your healing. And so please, if that's you, I would love to have you. I would love to be your guide. I am not going to be teaching you. I'm going to be reminding you, helping you remember your soul gifts and your intuition, because it's innate, and I'll be your guide. And please message me if you have any questions. Please comment. I love to interact with you, and I look forward to seeing you again. And so with so much love, goodbye for now. Thank you for taking the time to listen to this episode of Healed and Healing podcast. And thank you for being on your own healing journey, because the more of us who choose to heal, the more that we shine our light to this whole world. And your support means so much to me, and means, being on your own healing journey just means so much to you. I'm proud of you, and what we do together on this healing journey is so good for everyone around us as well. Never underestimate that. So please subscribe, give me a review, give me some stars, and I just can't wait to see you on our very next episode in this beautiful community. Lots of love.